Okay, so I am researching in my history class. It's a Middle Eastern history class, and I'm researching about the Ottoman Empire, more specifically about why it declined, why it ended, what made it decline, despite it being a very powerful empire. So first I'm going to open Google, and actually I'm going to open a few more pages just to give myself some work room, because I like a few pages open. So first I'm going to go to my LFCC, to our website, and I'm going to log in. That'll just take a second. And the reason why I'm going to LFCC's website is because I want to go to our library page, if I can get to it. Let's see. I suppose I could have opened the other website, but that's okay. Yes, so I'm going to the libraries because library, I'm going to close these tabs. Our library page provides a lot of not only books, but scholarly articles. And I like searching our library before I do anything else, because I feel like a good paper is based off of at least 5 books, not 5 websites. So, let's see. So, I guess I want to search books and ebooks, so I'm gonna type in Ottoman Empire, just to see what there is, really. I'm actually gonna close one of these tabs, but I'll get to the other tabs. Alright, so when you search Ottoman Empire, that's like a really vague description. I mean, my paper is on why it fell. So when I pull up just the Ottoman Empire, it pulls up a bunch of stuff I don't need. So I'm going to type into the search engine something more specific. Fall of the Ottoman Empire. And it's loading. Okay, so it says there's limited results found, but what I found is a lot better than what I searched before. So the first book that popped up is called A Peace to End All Peace, The Fall of the Ottoman Empire and the Creation of the Modern Middle East. Now my paper in my class is supposed to focus on ancient times, so I don't want to get into the modernized Middle Eastern society. So that, some of that book may be okay. I might check it out, but I'm on the fence with that one. Again, the second book says 1908 to 1922. That is like the First World War. That's too modern. So let's scroll down and see if we have any ancient. This one is 1815 to 1914. That's still a little too modern. We want... Let's see if I can narrow it down. I want to see if I type in history of the Ottoman Empire and see if it brings you back into ancient times, because that's what my class is focused on. So a general history will probably bring in modern times as well as ancient times, so maybe that's what I should have searched in the first place. Yes. This one's titled Consumption Studies in the History of the Ottoman Empire, 1550 to 1922, an introduction. So there's a monetary history. I don't care about that, but there is a general history of the Ottoman Empire. There's actually a book I've already checked out. It's called Lords of the Horizons, A History of the Ottoman Empire. The sixth book that popped up is Osman's Dream. Osman is the founder of the Ottoman Empire, or what was the Ottoman Empire. So that's 1300 to 1923. I've actually picked up that book and just renewed it today because obviously Osman founded the empire, so I need kind of what his visualization of what he wanted the empire to be and why that failed. So that's why I chose that book. There's another one, Under Osman's Tree. That sounds relevant. So basically, what I should have searched in the first place is history of the Ottoman Empire, because that brings me back to the ancient times. And I'm on LFCC's library source. And these are just books, history books. They're not like articles or journals or anything like that. I don't really prefer to look at articles when I'm writing a history paper. That's just my preference, but let's see. I think let's see. That's about all I'll do on this page as of right now. And then as far, there are plenty of books on the website that I would pick out, like I said. So I think it's definitely better to have a handful of books, because you don't have to read the entire book to get several citations from it. Let's see, let's go to Google. Google, Ottoman Empire. I'm just going to Google Ottoman Empire like I searched that in the school website, library website. And obviously, I just want to get a background of the Ottoman Empire, because when I first got into this paper, I had no idea what the Ottoman Empire was. I've only heard of it. So this is a good starting point. If you just scroll down and look through Google, I know some people say this is not the way to go, but anything general, 6 facts about the Ottoman Empire, historyextra.com. There's some .org sites, there's edu sites, so it's not all just Wikipedia. But if you want a general, I do like to use Wikipedia because it is very generalized and packs a lot of information, but mostly because if you scroll all the way down and you take note of the footnotes and all these little numbers, you'll find the sources that they use, or the references that they use. And those can bring you to really good websites or books or articles. So I know Wikipedia is the kind of like the bane of my existence, because I'm not supposed to use it, but really it does have a lot of good stuff at the bottom if you look for it. So what I want to know about, let's go up to the top, and history. So there's the rise, there's an expansion, peak, and stagnation and reform. My paper is kind of going into that stagnation and reform, as well as the revolts and the decline and modernization of the empire. Not really the defeat and dissolution of the empire. Like I said, that's too modern. I want to know why it started to go downhill. Possibly why it even grew to be as big as it was. How did it even do that? And I think in my paper I'm arguing that the reasons that made the Ottoman Empire great are the same reasons that brought it down. So they work hand in hand. So if you just look at this history list, let's see. I want to go to decline and modernization, so I'll go there, and I'll bring you to this section of the Wikipedia page. Excuse me. So this is an important keyword, Tanzimat. It was a period of reform in the Ottoman Empire that began in 1839 and ended with the first constitutional era in 1876. That is really important. Like I said, there are plenty of resources at the bottom that will go into detail about Tanzimat. But if we just wanted to click on that, it will, just hover over it. It gives me a generalized idea of what that period is and if it's relevant to my paper, and that is definitely relevant to my paper. Let's see. This is actually a part that I'm still researching, the Tanzimat period. It says the government's series of constitutional reforms led to a fairly modern conscripted army, banking system reforms, the decriminalization of homosexuality. That's really important and interesting because, as you know today, homosexuality is very criminalized in the Middle East. So the Ottoman Empire was really different in that way. When their modernization period, not everyone agreed with it. It led to a lot of revolts, as you can imagine. Not everyone likes change, but this is a great example of what modernization means. Because I brought that up with my professor. I'm going to argue that modernization brought the empire down, and this is why. People just did not agree with it, and this is in Wikipedia, although you really shouldn't use it as your primary source, your go-to thing. It does give you some good details. It says the replacement of religious law with secular law. That's a big deal. Let's see. So I like to use Wikipedia just for this reason. It brings me to these keywords like Tanzimat. I need to include that in my paper. I really need to include that in my paper. It's really important. Because I'm arguing that the reform era it was kind of like the last attempt at saving the empire. And it was kind of successful, but, as far as I know. But like I said, not everyone agreed with it and brought way too much violence. And anyways. So we'll go back to Google. I like Google. I don't use Bing or anything. I just like Google. I don't know why. But Google. And then sometimes I ask some of my thesis statement questions in Google just to see what I can find. Because I do like using websites as much as I love using books. I try to have a few websites in my bibliography. Let's see. So I would Google, let's see. What made the Ottoman Empire so powerful? It wrote it out for me. It says, the BBC Religions website, or BBC UK, says that it was an empire inspired and sustained by Islam. However, I'm going to argue that Islam actually destroyed the empire to an extent. It definitely strengthened it, especially when the Crusades rolled around. It saved it, actually, but Islam did not leave a lot of room for the modernization that could have saved the empire. So Islam, I like how it mentions Islam. So I just go to Google, really, as well as the LFCC website, and ask these questions and see what the internet has to say to me. Sometimes I go on, well, not really, but sometimes if I'm desperate, I'll go to Yahoo Answers or Yahoo Questions or whatever it's called, and see what people are asking and see how others respond. But another website I'll use, because everyone uses this, is YouTube. If I want to look for videos, and a lot of good history videos are on YouTube. So let's see. Decline of the Ottoman Empire. It wouldn't hurt to search up the rise of the Ottoman Empire.